Hi everyone! Alright, so today is for Friday the 11th of September. So since we had a short week and we did maps testing this week, we are going to do a lesson today on 1.2, which is the segment addition postulate. So if you go into your classwork tab, it has 1.1 and 1.1, which we did last week, and then this 1.2 segment addition postulate. This is where you can find the notes PDF and the homework PDF. Remember that you can always find this on your week at a glance as well. So if we are here on Friday for the 11th, we have the check-in, so make sure that you complete that. Office hours for Friday are from 9 to 10, and this is through Google Meet. So this link will just take you straight to me, so any time within that hour, I will be available to you. This 1.2 segment addition notes, that is the same PDF as on the classwork tab, and then the video, once I'm finished making it, will be linked right here. Okay, the video will be set up through a platform called Postulate. That platform allows me to see who has seen this video, and I will probably ask you a couple questions along with it. So it'll stop the video, ask you a question, and then once you've answered the question, you can move on. Then your homework for Friday is going to be this 1.2 homework. So normally our homeworks are due on Fridays, and I wanted to give you a little bit extra time. So if you notice here, this says it is due September 13th, which is Sunday at 11:59. So I'm giving you a couple extra days because I know we normally have our homework due on Friday. So I have already downloaded the guided notes, and so we're just going to go through the notes together. If you need to stop this video, feel free, but I'm just going to go through this together with you guys. So if you have not printed this out, make sure that you are writing this down in your math notebook. This should go directly after 1.1. Okay. Adjust my laptop here, and cool. All right, so the 1.2, we're going to talk about the segment addition postulate. So hopefully everyone remembers how to name a segment. So when we are measuring segments, we want to find the distance between the 2 points. And so when we are writing that, the distance between 2 points A and B, those are written as length of AB, or just AB. So just like this. So if we were to find AB up here off to the side, so when we are looking for AB, this is going to be the absolute value of 3, so B, minus -1, which is where A is. So we're going to find that absolute value. So hopefully for your absolute value, you have found that AB equals 4. So the distance between the 2 points is length 4. Congruent segments, so if AB equals CD, then the segments are congruent. This is written like this. So we have AB, and this segment is congruent. So this equal sign with this little squiggly on top, that means congruent. So AB is congruent to CD, that segment. Okay, so then now, segment addition postulate, it's kind of exactly how it sounds. So we're just adding two segments together. So if we have AB plus BC, so AB is right here, and then BC is here, then that is going to give us AC. So this entire segment is going to be the addition of AB and BC. You could also think about it as sum of parts equals your whole. Okay? So then let's do an example. So if we have PQ, so this is PQ. So if we know that PQ equals 9 and QR, which is right here, equals 28, we want to find PR, which is this entire segment. So what we're going to do, and I need you to do this 100% of the time, we are going to write an equation. So we know that PQ plus QR is going to give us PR, right? And then we can substitute in our values that we already know, because we know PQ and we know QR. So if we substitute that in, we would get 9 plus 28 equals PR. Now we can simplify that a little bit more, and we're going to get 37 equals PR. And that is our answer. Okay? So now I'm going to go ahead and pause the video, and I want you to try number 2 on your own. Think about what you already have, create an equation, and then solve for PQ. Alright, so hopefully you tried this one on your own. So we are looking for PQ, which is just this little distance here. So what we know already is that the entire length, PR, is 21, right? And we also know that QR is 17, and we know that this entire length is 21. Okay? So what we can do is say that PQ plus QR is equal to PR, right? Because if I added this segment plus this segment, I'm going to get the entire segment, right? So that's all I'm saying in my equation. So then PQ, we don't know, so we're going to leave that as PQ. And then QR, we know, is 17. And then PR is 21. So then now, if we subtract a 17 from both sides, right, we're just solving a linear equation now. So this is algebra. So if we solve for PQ, we will get a PQ equals 4. And that makes sense, right? Because it's our smallest segment on there. All right. So what I want you to do is go ahead and try number 3 again, and then I'm going to go through that one, and then for number 4, I want you to do the same thing after we go over number 3. And for number 4, I'm just going to give you the answer. I'm not going to give you the whole process. So I kind of want you to think about that one a little bit more in depth. Okay, so for number 3, EG is this entire segment, right? And this entire segment is equal to 71. We have that EF is equal to 8x minus 17, and then we have FG is equal to 5x minus 3. So let's set up our equation. We know that EF plus FG is going to give us, it's going to give us EG, right? So if I just added these two segments together, it's going to give me the entire thing. That's all I'm saying. Okay? So then we know EF, right? It's 8x minus 17. I'm going to put that in parentheses. And then I'm going to add on FG, which we know that again. I'm going to put this in parentheses as well. So we know that FG is equal to 5x minus 3. And then we also know EG. EG is equal to 71. So now what we want to do, we want to find the value of x. So be very, very careful, especially on 4. Pay attention to what it's asking you to find. So here we want to find x. On number 4, we want to find TU. So in order to find x, we need to combine like terms. So 8x plus 5x, we're going to combine those and get 13x. Okay, so I'm going to cross those out. And then we need to combine negative 17 and negative 3. So we will get negative 20. And then that's still going to be equal to 71. Okay, I'm going to cross these two terms out because I use them. And then now what we want to do, we're just solving equations here. We're solving for x. So I'm going to add 20 on both sides. When I do that, I get 13x equals 91. And I have 13 times x equals 91, so I want to divide by 13 on both sides. When I do that, I will get x equals 7. Okay. So now go ahead and pause the video. And for number 4, I want you to find x first, and then find tu. All right, so for number 4, I'm going to give you tu. So just the answer, I need you to write down the actual process in your notes. So tu should be equal to 29. So double check your answer and make sure that you get 29. Okay, so let's move on to this second page here. So midpoint of a segment. So when we're finding the midpoint of a segment, this is when we can cut it into two congruent segments. So the midpoint of a segment is a point that divides the segment into two congruent segments. Right, midpoint, middle, think that. So it's just cutting it in half, basically. Okay? So then a line, ray, or segment that intersects a segment at its midpoint is said to bisect the segment and is called the segment bisector. So that's what's cutting it in half. So if we were to look at this example, line L right here is the segment bisector. It's cutting the segment AC in half. Okay, so in the diagram to the left, I've already kind of given you this, but point B is the midpoint. So I'm just going to abbreviate this as point B is the midpoint of AC, that segment, right? And line L, that's my script L, is a segment bisector of AC. So that's what cuts it in half. Okay. So there are 3 problems on here. I'm going to go over number 5 with you guys, and then since I'm running out of time on this video, I'm going to have you try the next 2 on your own. On Play Pause It, you will have the chance to input your answers just to double check and make sure that you are correct. Okay, so if Q is the midpoint of PR, we want to find the value of X. So if Q is the midpoint, that means that these 2 segments right here are congruent to each other, right? Because they're cut directly in half. So we have our equation, which is going to be PQ is equal to QR. And then we know that PQ is 7x minus 16. So that is equal to 4x plus 2. Then if we were to add 16 onto the other side and subtract, so just a little bit of algebra here, we will get 3x equals 18. When we divide by 3 on both sides, we will get x equals 6. Okay, go ahead and try the next 2 on your own and put your answers in Play Pause It.